Grand rising, grand arrival, grand return. Peace and blessings to the righteous and repentant alike. I am Sophia of the Americana Band of Indians, and this is your daily transmutation report where we practice manipulating the incoming rays to the earth in a format that best serves our Creator. Today is Monday, September the 23rd, 2024, 6 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, coming to you from the Sunshine State. We have our sun at 0 degrees of Libra. We have come through the Equilux portal. We have our moon at 13 degrees of Gemini. We have, I'll tell you where the energies are really pointing, okay? We have a bunch of stuff pointing at Pluto. Venus at 0. Oh, and Venus has moved into Scorpio. It's at 0 degrees of Scorpio. So we have Venus in a square relationship to Pluto. We have Vesta maybe in a quincunx to Pluto, and we have the moon in a quincunx to Pluto. So these are all and also Saturn in some kind of a, I don't know what that is, to Pluto. So a lot of energies pointing at Pluto. Now we also have a lot of energies pointing at Saturn. We have Venus in a quincunx to Saturn. We have a inconjunct between Juno and Saturn. We have an opposition between Vesta and Saturn. So a lot of stuff is pointing at Saturn. We also have a lot of stuff pointing at Uranus, with Venus in an inconjunct to Uranus, Juno in a quincunx to Uranus. There's a trine energy between the sun. Is that the sun? Venus, not the sun. Mercury and Uranus is in a trine energy. So we have a bunch of stuff also pointing at Uranus. So look at the planets. Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto. Nothing is interacting with Neptune. Neptune is a delusions, right? People are tired of these. What it feels like is these astrological influences have had enough of of Neptune being used for gaslighting, and they are like, no, we have to redirect the energy into us. So this is not going to be a Neptune heavy season. The delusions are not going to, no one's interacting with these delusions. And the first day of the season is telling you how the season is going to go. There's going to be most Pluto energy with the transformation. Then next would be Saturn, and then Uranus. So Saturn is discipline and structure. Uranus is, and Saturn is also the opposite of Mars energy. And now that we're in Cups energy, which is Mars energy, we have Saturn that's going to have more energy emphasis placed on the discipline and the order, as opposed to the making cuts and removing. No. Not going to be the prevalent energy. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of activity. We do have our Mars at 10 degrees of Cancer. And remember, it's going to be in and out of Cancer for the next 6 months due to retrograde. So our Mars is in its detriment. So of course, if you want to know more about the astrological influences, please contact your favorite astrologer. We're just doing basic overviews here. All right, we're on day 21 of the moon cycle. This is a 20.5 day old moon. This is the last quarter with 62.7% illumination, with a moon set time of 1:31 p.m. and a moon rise time of 11:28 p.m. The moon governor for today is Etamreza, that's how I would say it. The 21st head of the moon sphere instructs the spiritualite how, by certain spiritual and Kabbalistic methods, to become strong and resistant against any visible and invisible enemies, against any kind of influence by elements, etc. He becomes spiritually taboo. No man on earth is able to assail or do harm to a spiritualite who enjoys and works under the protection and guidance of this head of the moon sphere. The spiritualite is safe from any persecution or spiritual assault. He is capable of enduring the greatest possible heat, of going through the greatest fire without a single hair on his head being burned. But don't try this, please. It's a not physical. It's a spiritual interpretation of that word. So, as you can see, as I mentioned with the astrology, with the emphasis on Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus, and Neptune, who is the deceiver, being locked out. Nobody is interacting with that deceiver right now. This is what this guy is here to enforce, if you acknowledge him, right? So for our astrotarography sun sign decan, we are now in Two of Swords. Please see my longer video on this, because I did go into detail about how to use this energy, but of course we're still going to talk about it every day in relation to the other energies. So we are in Two of Swords right now, which is indecision, solutions, and difficulties, which is our intuition card. Now remember, swords are ruled by Mars, and this particular energy is naturally going to want you to make cuts. However, the best way to transmute this energy would be with the Two of Wands, which is plans, travel, and new ideas. This is our Jezebel card, and this is our outside influence card. Now is the time to be getting advice before you make decisions, would be my suggestion. And you would do this through the lens of the 8th house in Aries, which is to be active when searching for the truth. Again, you have to ask for help. You have to say, oh, I'm trying to figure this out. Why did this happen to me? You have to actually be active. You have to seek out saints, seek out your guides, seek out other living human people. You have to interact with people. Before it was kind of like a suggestion before we got into this energy. Now it is the only way to transmute this energy is to contact the outside influences. So like say, in the other direction, this is kind of like Jezebel, but then I would say in this direction, it's kind of like Elijah, because Elijah went into the mountains to contact the angel, and the angel came and helped him through. So this is more like moving into an Elijah energy and out of a Jezebel energy, right? Well, that's interesting. All right, so for our North Node decan, we're in Two of Wands, which this is the opposite now. This is the plans, travel, and new ideas, which is the Jezebel card, the outside influence card. And we want to transmute this by using the Two of Swords, which is indecisions, solutions, and difficulties, which is our intuition card. Through the lens of the 1st house in Libra is to find yourself in others and look for your balance. So again, now we are looking to people. So we're looking to people for advice, right? But then we're also looking to people to see where they are, to see how they're doing, and to evaluate them based on those things, and not to evaluate them based on our intuition and not just what we see. It's very interesting times. All right, so for our Tree of Life yearly progressions and predictions, we are in Venus energy. This goes all the way until October the 17th. And this is the 8 of Swords, which is overthinking, self-criticism, and entrapment. And we can best transmute this by utilizing the 8 of Wands, which is travel, movement, and communication through the lens of the 9th house in Gemini, which is learn how to properly use words and wisdom. Again, you're going to find yourself in others and look for your balance, and then you're going to know when you should say something and when you shouldn't say something. You're not going to make a cut when a correction is required, and mostly it's going to be corrections. It's like things aren't as bad as people think they are, but there are a lot of things that need to be put in the proper order, and that's what we're doing at this time. So if you enjoy this type of astrology content, please feel free to join us on YouTube, where my handle is Sophia Spiritualite. And if you would like to see all of these slides, please feel free to join us on the Schumann Mystery School on Patreon, and the link is in the description. Peace and blessings to each one of you, and we'll see you tomorrow.